Hello everyone, my name is Tony. Today I'm gonna repeat this video. Bouncing across the Seas tumbleweed established the Wild West as Western. But more than just props, tumbleweeds are real and tumbles are alive. Well, they were alive. Each tumble started with a tiny slit and craggy landscape, pulling down roots and branches, opening flowers. And to the middle of the life, birthing seeds. Itty bitty baby tumbles to be. Now dropping these seeds straight down won't give tumbles what their head described. So what's a parent plans to do but sacrifice their life for their children? And to eventually starve themselves to die and to dry. To catch the wind, shovel in his mortal coil, to bounce across the lands, to touch the student fine brittle ground, to root, to spread, to grow, to flower, to continue circle of life. It's beautiful, really. These tumble rolling across the west, in search of empty land in cornerwise, or iconically, west of Westerners westing. Because neither are native, because before the 800s there were no homesteaders and no tumbleweed in the West. Tumbleweed are envious, special, and deeply unwelcome one. It's time to get real about the trouble with tumbles. Now you might be thinking, if the West is mostly empty and tumbleweed arrive and survive, what's the big deal? They're kind of nice. And you know what, you're right, kind of tumbles like snow, little charming, but a lot of trouble and a lot of dangerous. Tumbleweed sticks to things and each other. One stuck tumble becomes 2, 10, and stacks of them. The American Interrater has vast worth of lands. And after Timble's Cherokee over, one big windstorm can ruin a village under thousands of things. With people quickly finding their things and vehicles, even homes, inaccessible. If you've never seen tumbles on the move, or aftermath of death is unreal. And though a tumble drift looks brown, snow drifts. This snow is full of horns. If you think of the road, think again on tumbles its old horns. Riddle to break up their skin and horn skin. Clearly, tumbleweed isn't just painful, but also infuriating. A tumbleweed drift are both bouncy and sticky. You're going to have to fight them one at a time. Turtles at best, Sisfin at worst. You might want to use industrial equipment, but be careful. Tumbleweed are snaky flammable. Dry, airy, but still. Brush dense to min-max handling. A tumbleweed blow up flames way fast and burns way hot, more than a later. But even though managed to clear the town and or the open land around the town. A single maize seed contains a tumble torrent. But while many plants use flowers to and try to close, pollinate, and reproduce, not tumbles. The flowers have nothing for bees, instead of throwing pollen directly into the wind. Well, I hope you don't have pollinate to cross pollinate. And tumbles don't need to tangle. A lone tumbleweed can pollinate itself. So the single maize seed will grow up into tumble. And takes tens of thousands of seeds. Hundreds of thousands if it gets too large. A single tumbling to town 1 year. Leave a tumble for an explosion there real after. And then there's the danger to actresses, which brings us to the start of this. A time before tumbleweed in America and before homeschooling. It's the 800s and the start of westerning. Building their first farms in tiny towns, growing enough food to adults and nation was vital. Nearly everyone's job have to be farming. In the newly created Department of Agriculture had the job of writing prototypes on how best to do, along with collecting seeds and samples from the new contents, which is how all was normal until one day a letter arrived for DOA. Hey, hey, there's this tumbling weed giving us some trouble. Can you take a grinder? And so she did, arriving to find South Dakota in bad shape. And weedy infection rapidly developing, damaging the food supply. These new weeds stole ground nutrients for themselves before crops could even be planted, or they would grow in between crops, choking them out. During harvest, they hurt the draft animals, or clogged the newly machineless farm equipment. Easy estimates were crop losses 20% because of the tumbles. DOA tried to constant the situation using education, wanted tumbleweed kill on site, aka Picro Teston, aka Harley Traggers, aka the Wind Witch, aka the Russian Turtle. This, by the way, is the motherland where the species is native, and from where crop seed contaminated with tumble seed probably came to arrive the South Dakota on perhaps a single farm to start the infection, which grew worse by the year. And the Department of agriculture's effort to stop it were futile. Way too much land for too few people. Worse, this new land was Tumbletopia and still is. See this run of rectangle states. It's the Great Plains avoiding the Great American Desert. An enormous stretch of land, flat open, windy. South Dakota's neighbors had no chance for neighbors. From Patton Zero, boom! By the turn of the century, the tumbleweed infection covered the interval, eventually spreading north to Canada and south down to Mexico. American mountains were braver on the way until tumbleweed hitched right on the trains that had freshly connected the continent, darting over the mountains west and east to establish himself in every spare pocket of empty land. Oh dear, but it gets better. Battle fires, especially trial fires. A nice big field of dry wheat is just beginning to burst into flames. The only early test to stop fires was to build fire breaks. Easily stopping the flames with neat straight. Literally empty stretches of land the fire cannot cross. But more perfect tunnels for tumbles you could not make, even if the fire breaks were kept clear. Fire makes its own wind, sucking in cold air from ground level to blowing out hot, up and over, thus transforming tumbles into fireballs to reach the break. Thus started the first volley in war on tumbleweed. But the Department of Agriculture to eradicate the infection from the interior farmland and towns. Where they did the most catching would mean not only catching every weed and seed across a third of continent, with the cooperation of two international neighbors, but also finding every patch of infection across the mountains in other 2/3. An impossible task. So that's why tumbles are still here and have been around for so long and in such numbers people forget there were ever a before time. But not the United States Department of Agriculture from the 18th to 19th, from the 800s to 900s to 2000s, still trying to rid Americas of the weed, but so far without success. That's the trouble with tumbles. Playful country rockaway Thank you for listening. Goodbye.